It's been almost 4 years since I've done a shop tour, so I thought I'd take you into my shop, show you some of the things that may have changed since last time. My shop is a two-car garage. A car has never parked in there. And maybe a little bit dark in there because these are the lights that I use when I'm shooting my videos, and they take up a lot of room inside of my shop, so I just moved them outside for now. So we can come on in. One of the things I wanted to talk about was workflow in the shop, and if you're setting up a brand new shop, you might consider what I've done is I have my table saw is right up next to my garage door, and my door is open almost all the time. That way I've got plenty of room to move materials out here and move it on. Of course, this is my new saw, which works out great. I almost always leave it in this up position so it can roll around. I don't really lock it down all that much, but it's heavy enough that it doesn't seem to, roll around while I'm using it. When you're watching my videos, usually the camera is positioned on only one spot, so you don't really get to see the whole shop or even know where everything is in relation to each other. So basically this is all of it. It's a standard sized two-car garage. I keep my bandsaw also right near the front of the garage. It's probably blown out right now because the sunlight is hitting it, but that gets a lot of use and it's a good spot for it, plenty of extra space. My jointer is all disassembled right now. I took it apart a couple of months ago and it has some real problems. It won't lift and lower right, and so it needs a lot of work done to it. I guess I need to get around to doing that or get a new jointer. My router table is, of course, it's still working out really, really well. Craig sent me some of these feather boards that are really cool that I like to use a lot. I have no regrets about any way that I built this at all. It all works out perfectly. The only thing is I don't really think that I needed this front slot. I haven't used it yet, but I suppose I will. And if ever I do need to use it, at least it's there. A couple of people wanted to know about wood storage and what I do about that. Wood storage is always a problem. I sort of keep the same system that I had back in my video from 4 years ago, where I keep small pieces down below here, and on this side I try to keep exotic pieces separate, and that's about the extent of that organization. I also recently cleared out this space underneath my main workbench for these are shorter pieces over here. This only goes back that far. And then in this section, the pieces can go all the way through. I have a loft up here where I can keep long pieces. I've got some 2x4s and some sheet goods. And although big, huge sheet goods up there can be a real challenge to get them up there. But I wish I had a better system for that, but I don't. Over here is probably the stuff that I use most frequently. Just good boards, and they should probably be stored horizontally. I don't know, I'd like to change it around someday maybe, but for now this works out fine. Almost forgot, this little storage cabinet I made in a video last year to hold these little bitty cutoffs, and I gotta tell you, I highly recommend having some sort of a system of storing these little bitty pieces because they come in really handy, and having these shallow drawers, it's pretty much easy to find any kind of piece that I want. I don't have to go digging down really deep to find them. I used to have a chair right here, and I finally decided to get rid of that old chair. It was just taking up too much space, and it was also a pain because every time I wanted to get into my crawl space, I had to move that chair out of the way. My hutch here hasn't changed at all since the last video that I shot of my shop. I don't organize my tools, I just stick them wherever there's a spot for them, and I have a general idea of where everything is. A lot of people have asked me about my charger emblem here. This was off of my car. I had a 1969 Dodge Charger. It was a 440 Magnum, and it was really cool, and that's all that I have left of the car. It was the same as the Dukes of Hazzard car, except mine was blue with a white bumblebee stripe on it. And I also have my this is an emblem that's left from I had an '88 Chevy Suburban. It was actually, you might have seen it in some of my earlier videos, but that's what I have left of that. Don't forget, New Year's Eve, well, right around New Year's Eve, I'll be opening the time capsule, and we can find out what wonders it holds. I want to get back to workflow a little bit in case you are going to set up a garage workshop, because this works out really well for me. I've been using the same setup for over 10 years now. The key is that there's plenty of open space here for me to move around, and I have the island workbench right here in the center so I can go around it and work on all sides of it. So it's very easy for me to cut wood on my table saw and immediately take it to any of the other tools that I need. Oh, and also I wanted to highly recommend, if you're going to set up a shop, to put a sink in it. This is one of the best things I ever installed in the shop. Oh, and the fridge. Remember the last video I had a really tall fridge that finally gave out, and so I got this smaller fridge and it works out, and all it holds is beer. I like having my tool cabinets open like this so I don't have to open doors, because those doors tend to get clogged up with stuff and it's hard to keep them closed. This way is much easier. Another thing that I am a big proponent of is making shelves very shallow, such as all of these that I keep my finishing supplies and spray paints and all of that. And it's just deep enough just to hold 1 or 2 deep, because if you make shelves that are too deep, you just get layer after layer of stuff and you can never find anything. Well, that's it for my shop tour for 2012. Maybe I'll shoot another one in 4 more years. But I have a second video this week, so you get 2 videos for the price of 1. If you are interested in seeing what happened and what became of some of the old projects that I made videos of, click on the link right here and it'll take you to that video, and I'll take you on a tour around the house, which I'm going to head up there right now. Yeah, I know. It could have been worse though. Could have been one of those, you know, flashback episodes where you don't really have to shoot anything new and you get a whole episode out of it. Remember that time where Gopher wore those Groucho glasses and Captain Stubing gave him his serious look?